confident that should Nnamdi Kanu be released, security in the southeast will be positively affected.
Well, let me say this. Nnamdi Kanu is before a court of competent jurisdiction, and it would be very, very unfair for me to be talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which is before Justice Omotosha, discussing anything about that honorable court. And I urge Nigerians to learn how to respect the courts. And I want to leave that about respecting the court for now.
My people, this one right here has really sparked reactions across Nigeria. Senator Orji Uzor Kalu has just dropped a statement that's left many people disappointed, especially those from the southeast. He said, and I quote, "I cannot talk about Nnamdi Kanu's release because it is unfair to our court." Now, this is coming from a man who comes from the same Abia soil as Kanu, someone people expected to at least show understanding, empathy, and support. But instead, his comment has left many asking, is this fairness to the court, or betrayal to his people? Before I go deeper, please make sure you like this video, click that subscribe button, and turn on your notification bell, because this story is deep and we're breaking it down in a way everyone can understand. Now let's get into it. Orji Uzor Kalu made this statement while addressing questions about the ongoing calls for Nnamdi Kanu's release. He said it would be unfair to comment because the matter is still in court. He called for Nigerians to respect the judiciary, to let the process play out, and not to pressure the courts through public campaigns. On the surface, that sounds logical. Respect for the rule of law is important. But when you look closely, you begin to see why people are upset. Because let's be honest, this is not just about the courts anymore, this is about humanity, this is about fairness, this is about someone who has been detained for years without conclusion. For many Nigerians, especially those from the southeast, Nnamdi Kanu's prolonged detention has become a symbol of inequality and selective justice. So when Orji Kalu, who happens to be not just a politician but also a prominent Igbo elder, decides to stay quiet, it feels like a stab in the back. People are saying, if you can't speak for your brother, who will? If leaders like Orji Kalu stay silent, how can ordinary citizens hope for change? It's not about inciting anyone or breaking the law, it's about showing empathy and standing for truth. That's what leadership means. And yet, instead of standing with his people, Kalu is choosing to stand aside, hiding behind respect for court processes. What makes it more painful is that Orji Kalu has, in the past, been through the legal system himself. He knows what it means to be in custody. He knows how it feels when people lose faith in justice. Many people are asking, why does he suddenly sound like a government spokesperson instead of a representative of his people? And this has raised a deeper question, why do most of our politicians become silent once they get into powerful positions? They speak for the people when they need votes, but when the people need them to speak, they suddenly remember due process. The same due process that is never fast, never fair, and never balanced when it comes to issues like this. Please pause for a second and let me know in the comments, do you think Orji Uzor Kalu is right to say he can't talk about Nnamdi Kanu's release because it's in court? Or do you see it as betrayal? Drop your thoughts below, backhand index pointing down, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because this conversation affects every Nigerian who believes in justice. Now, here's what's more interesting, many people believe Kalu's silence is political. He's trying to play safe, to stay in the good books of those in power. Remember, Kalu is a former governor, a sitting senator, and someone who still has ambitions in politics. Maybe he doesn't want to be seen as challenging the federal stance on Kanu's detention. But here's the truth, leadership is not about playing safe, it's about standing firm, even when it's uncomfortable. Imagine if more Southeast leaders had raised their voices early enough, maybe this issue wouldn't have dragged for this long. Maybe Kanu's case would have been treated with more urgency. Instead, what we keep hearing are careful, diplomatic statements that say nothing but sound like something. And this has started to affect how people see the Southeast political class. Many now feel disconnected, like their leaders are too afraid to offend the system. And that's dangerous, because when people lose trust in their leaders, it opens the door for anger and disunity. Now, let's look at this from another angle. Orji Uzor Kalu says it's unfair to the court to talk about the case. But the same lawmakers, the same politicians, comment openly on other court cases all the time. They make statements on economic trials, corruption cases, and political petitions. So why is this one different? Why does everyone suddenly go quiet when it involves Nnamdi Kanu? That's the question so many people are asking online. It's not that people want politicians to disrespect the courts, no. What Nigerians want is consistency. If you're going to respect the courts, respect them always, not selectively. Because selective silence is not principle, it's politics. As I'm talking now, social media is buzzing with reactions. Some are saying Kalu's comment shows cowardice, others are saying he's being diplomatic. But the loudest voice is from people who feel heartbroken that one of their own has refused to show solidarity. They remember how Kalu once called Nnamdi Kanu his younger brother. So now they ask, if your younger brother is in trouble, do you keep quiet because you don't want to offend the court, or do you at least speak from your heart? Friends, this is where we are as a country. The fight for justice is not just in the courtrooms, it's also in our hearts and voices. Silence, at times like this, can be just as powerful as words, and Orji Uzor Kalu's silence has spoken loudly. So, what's next? Nigerians are watching closely. Will Kalu double down on his stance, or will he clarify his words? Will other Southeast senators stand up to speak where he has remained quiet? Because the truth is, this is not just about Kalu or Kanu, it's about the bigger picture of fairness, equality, and courage in leadership. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Orji Uzor Kalu's refusal to talk is truly out of respect for the court, or is it just a political move? Comment your opinion below, I really want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel for more trending Nigerian political updates told in plain English that everyone can understand. Now, looking at the bigger picture, when we talk about Nnamdi Kanu's case, it's not just a personal story anymore, it's become a mirror showing how Nigeria treats issues of justice, fairness, and equality. And when you look at how different Southeast leaders have reacted, you see two clear groups, those who speak boldly and those who stay silent. Take, for example, leaders like Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State. At one point, he publicly called on the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu, even offering to stand as a surety. That was a bold statement. He didn't hide behind politics or respect for court process. He showed courage. He understood that even though the law must take its course, there are times when leadership requires speaking truth with empathy. Then there are others, senators, former governors, even top traditional rulers, who prefer to stay on the fence. They speak in soft tones, avoid the media, and try not to be quoted. But the people see all of this. They see who stands for them and who hides when it matters most. That's why Orji Uzor Kalu's comment hit so hard, because many expected him to at least show solidarity with his people, even if not in open defiance of the law. And honestly, that's what the Southeast has been struggling with, disunity among its own leaders. Everyone seems to be pulling in different directions. Some are chasing federal appointments, others are protecting business interests, and very few are willing to speak boldly about what the people are going through. When you look at Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention, it's not only a legal issue, it's emotional, it's cultural, and it touches the very heart of a region that already feels excluded. And silence from people who should speak only deepens the pain. You see, leadership is not just about holding office, it's about using your voice for the voiceless. It's about courage. Even if you can't change the law, you can at least show understanding and compassion. But when leaders start sounding like court clerks or government spokespersons, the people lose hope. And that's what we are seeing here. Let's also remember that Nigerians in general are watching. Because this kind of silence doesn't just affect the Southeast, it tells everyone how far we still have to go in building a country where justice means the same thing for everyone. For years, people have called for fair hearings, due process, and equal treatment for all regions. But when selective silence becomes normal, it sends a bad message. That's why conversations like this matter, because they remind us that justice should not depend on who you are or where you're from. Now, as we wrap up, let's be honest, whether you love or disagree with Nnamdi Kanu's methods, one thing is clear, no one deserves endless detention without closure. Justice delayed is justice denied. And if leaders like Orji Uzor Kalu cannot speak on behalf of fairness, then the people will speak for themselves. So, my people, let me ask you again, what do you think? Was Orji Uzor Kalu right to stay silent in the name of respecting the court? Or has he simply chosen politics over principle? Do you think more Southeast leaders need to speak up about Kanu's case, or should everyone just wait for the court's decision? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to read your thoughts. And please, before you scroll away, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of our next updates. We break down every trending story in plain English so everyone can understand what's really going on in Nigeria today. Thank you for staying till the end. My people, stay informed, stay peaceful, and always stand for truth, because silence in the face of injustice helps no one.